Hey everyone, this is Krista Bontrager, and I'm here with George Haraxon, who is the manager for the Apologetics Community. And I'm super excited to be able to talk today and introduce people to the Apologetics Community. So let's start there. What is the vision of what the Apologetics Community is about?
Yeah, I like to say that there's a vision with a verse and a virtue behind the community. And part of Hugh and Kathy's vision was to leave a legacy of lay evangelists who would use science apologetics in order to introduce people to who Jesus is, to get to know him, and to also get to trust him. But mainly some of that outreach would be to those who are in the STEM fields, and that reaching out to those people in the STEM fields, we'd use science apologetics to both equip them, but also introduce them to who Jesus is.
Very good. So we see our members of the Apologetics Community, you called them lay apologists or lay evangelists. And I think that's really important because our focus here is on equipping and training people to actively share their faith. Why is that so important to us at Reasons to Believe?
Well, you make the distinction there between being a lay evangelist and not being a professional. Obviously, there are professionals out there, but we're looking to have a community of lay evangelists who take the verse that supports that vision, that from 1 Peter 3:15, that you set apart Christ as Lord in your heart, and we are equipped to give an answer to everyone who asks us for the hope that lies within us. But that is also built upon a virtue, which is to do it with gentleness and respect. So these lay evangelists, we want to equip them with RTB materials. So we want them to know the two books, which is the book of Scripture and the book of nature. And so we want them to know that these cohere with one another, and they can use it as they interact with people in the STEM fields, and also use that as they reach out and evangelize people.
So I like that. We're using apologetics for the sake of evangelism. We really want to get people empowered and inspired to share their faith.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have conversations about these topics and ideas and to discuss them. There's nothing wrong with that. But an emphasis at Reasons to Believe is to use science apologetics as an outreach to talk to people with evangelistic conversations. That's been the heart of, I think, Hugh, and you feel it throughout the ministry. And we want to really affirm that in our apologists.
So let's say I'm on board. I'm wanting to get connected. This heart of evangelism reflects my heart. What do I do? How do I become part of the apologetics community?
Yeah, well, one of the ways to do it is on our website, reasons.org, you can click Get Involved and then look for the Apologetics Community. On that site, we have an application, and we invite people to fill out that application. Once that's completed, I'm going to be the one that gets to interact with you, to talk with you, to get you introduced into the community.
Now, I know that there's some basic prerequisites to get people involved. We've been talking about training. So what is that training that gets people into this apologetics community? Yeah,
so we want people to take 2 courses that equip them and train them to be sort of ambassadors of RTB, its creation model, so that they can use that material in their science faith conversations. The first class that we ask them to take, which is required, is the Creation and Bible class. Then after that, we have 2 other classes that they can choose from, the Creation and Evolution course, and then the Astronomy and Design course, which is a little bit more heavier with physics and things like that. So
it allows them to choose whichever track. If they're more interested in life science, they can go in the Creation versus Evolution course. Versus physics and math, they can go down the Astronomy and Design course. So
exactly.
That's cool. Now, what do members of the apologetics community do?
Let me put it in 3 categories. One of the things that we're doing is for personal edification. You're growing in your loving God with your mind, getting equipped in science apologetics, learning how to reach out to people. apologetics community members then take that material in their growth and use it in their various communities. One could be the church community, where they're equipping members, teaching them also to learn to evangelize with science and faith discussions.
So maybe they're leading a small group at their church,
group.
or
Yeah, and then beyond that, we have a number of members who are in the local community, their particular context. We have a person who's leading a group at a local prison, people who are leading groups through their workplace, or doing a group through a library, or all sorts of different places. So some participate in RTB chapters where they do outreaches to skeptics. Sometimes they do it for the community there. So there's many ways that people can be equipped to reach out into their community for personal identification. But really, most of all, we want people to be on commission, on a mission to have science-faith conversations to introduce them to who Jesus is.
these are people who are really strategically co-missional with the ministry.
Yeah.
And we're inviting them into that relationship with us, but we're also investing in them. Let's talk about what we're doing as ongoing training. Once they're in the community, how do we keep them empowered?
One of the fun things is they get to be a part of a Google group that has other RTB apologists. And as I manage that community, it's a lot of fun watching the conversations go back and forth. Sometimes it's equipping, sometimes it's oriented to doing outreach in their particular context. Something might come up on science faith issues in the news that people discuss. So there's a lot of activity in that Google group. But in addition to that, they have opportunities to take other Reasons courses, have some insight into the new publications that Reasons is producing. We have a quarterly apologetics community call that equips them, trains them, introduces them to new RTB material. And then we offer specific workshops to train them in evangelism, in scientific contexts, and there's other workshops that we offer as well.
Very good. So we're investing in them.
Yeah.
They're being brand ambassadors for us. It really is a reciprocal relationship. Now, tell me one more time how people can get connected with the apologetics community. What can they do?
So if you go to reasons.org, and then you click on the Get Involved tab, you will see the Apologetics Community. If you go to that page, we have an application that you can begin to fill out. Once you complete that application, you submit it, and then I'll get to contact you and we'll start the process of getting you involved in that community.
Well, thank you, George. I'm really excited to see who the Lord is going to bring to us. And I want to encourage you to go check out the Get Involved page. See what the apologetics community is about. If this reflects your heart for wanting to share your faith, we would love to hear from you. Thank you, and God bless.